That's been around for a while. We've just always ignored it. Hi, everybody. It doesn't say we're live, but we know we are because we do this every week, and we know we're live already. Should I get the little light out, or
no.
With your headache? I just thought that would be too much.
That ibuprofen is making me feel really nice, but I don't want that light in my face.
Okay.
These people have seen us in every possible way. I think one day without the light is going to be fine.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
There it is.
I had to do it.
We hope you're all having a really great week. The weather here has been pretty fantastic. Like overcast, not cold, but not hot.
Yeah, for you East Coasters who are like battling like triple digit temps today, like it's gooder. The goodness, the good, better weather is coming your way. So it's super awesome.
Yes.
I'm looking for announcements.
Rachel,
you talk for a little while.
Well, I'm trying. You keep interrupting me. Do your damn job. Sorry, Shelly. Swearing. Okay. So, the weather here is nice. And what other very Midwestern-y northern place things?
We're hard workers.
We're hard workers. I've been gardening. This morning, I blanched and froze about 6 quarts. I would say roughly 6 quarts, not quite, of green beans out of my garden.
Oh, I have not had that.
And my
Super
pea plants are
jealous.
going wild. I do have one pumpkin growing in my garden. My zucchini went crazy, and I got 2 ginormous zucchini, and then now all of a sudden, like,
got nothing or what?
Well, it's really weird. They're like, they blooped over. I'm going to use that word. Bloop. They just like
died.
Well, they're not dying. They're alive. They're just not like the stalks are got like whippy. They're not strong anymore. I don't know what happened. Literally, I pulled those 2 zucchini off of there, and now they're just bleh. And I don't see any bugs on them. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm kind of sad about it because they were really kicking ass. But anyway,
No longer.
Oh, look, the announcements.
Here's the announcements. We just got off a IX mastermind call, which is so much fun. And we just got our Greece info, which is going to be amazing. So, anyway, I'm very excited. I'm just so excited about talking about traveling in any way at all. I'm just super excited about it. But we have amazing people in there, and we're starting to see some real themes. And even though we have very, very different industries and geographies and, I don't know, life, demographics, yeah. It's just really cool to start seeing all these sort of things come together. One of the things we have coming up, which is brand new, and we're really excited, Shelly has been working with Rachel Day of Elevate Rapid City to create a 4-part leadership series for September. It's every week for an hour, and there's a different topic every week. And it's like $25 per session, or I think $90 for all 4 if you want to buy them all at the same time. But Meg and I will be doing half and half, so it will be really fun. It'll be leadership stuff you probably haven't heard before. It's going to be for people who are just really looking to grow their leadership skills. We'll be there live, so you can ask us any questions. I promise you, mostly, there's never been a question we probably haven't heard. Maybe some weird ones, I guess. If you have any really weird questions, ask Nick. But we've heard most organizational leadership, team building, crazy conversations, bad boss, bad employee, all those questions you've heard. So we would love to help you navigate through some of those things. Shelly's going to post the link to register for those in the comments. Well, look at you. You're going to be a keynote speaker.
I am going to be a keynote speaker at a virtual Women at the Heart of Healthcare event on the 28th of August.
Yeah, that's going to be a virtual event. So a lot of people roll their eyes when the virtual events happen. But you know what? That means that you can do it from the comfort of your home. You don't have to drive to wherever the venue is. You get to learn a lot with minimal effort. And, Meg will be amazing. So you should check it out.
No, I will be amazing.
Yeah,
and it's a free event now, is that right? Oh, it's $10.
If you have a company, you can buy $10
Oh,
Okay.
so $10 for one person, $50 for a company, all access for as many employees as you want, pass.
Yeah,
so very
nice.
reasonable for that.
Yeah, that'll be a really fun event. We are working this week on getting Helix out. So Helix is our new platform, and it is undergoing its final tiny little process, beauty updates, ready to go. So we're super excited to launch that. We've soft launched it so we can put it through its paces, and then it will be available to you and everyone else very, very soon. We are onboarding some new clients, and so they are going also to go onto the new platform. And so there's lots of exciting things happening on Helix for our assessment.
Yeah, and we've been working a lot virtually across the pond even. We've got some clients over there, so that's cool.
Well, working virtually is kind of our jam. I think that's really helped us because we've been doing it forever.
Yeah. Okay, so Susan Geisel is our newest Helix Facilitator. Congratulations, Susan. Thank you for joining the IX community officially.
Well, and what Helix, what are we calling them? Helix Facilitator is someone who knows our system, knows our stuff, believes in what we believe in, and wants to deliver the way we deliver, and then also has access to the Helix system on the back end, so you can create your own clients in there and facilitate IX leadership and all of our IP for your own clients or in your own company. So if you're internal to an organization, you can also get certified as a Helix facilitator. So that is what that is, and Susan is our very first one after the platform launch. So congratulations to Susan. For those of you who are IX ambassador facilitators, we will be transitioning you over to a Helix facilitator when you renew your annual, when you have your annual renewal, and we'll get you onboarded onto the Helix platform when that happens. So you're next, stay tuned.
All right, weekly quote. The old idea that people are supposed to suffer, are supposed to be miserable at work, is just another story we tell ourselves to avoid change.
Oh, right, that is crucial.
That is very true. And the weekly writing prompt. What do you need more of in your life? List 3 things specifically.
What do you need more of in your life?
I need more Carissa in my life, and I'm about to get it, and I'm damned excited about it. I need help managing the dog hair in my house. That's what I need help with. I need more of that in my life.
More of that in your life.
I need my kids back in my life. I'm missing them. I'm kind of over it. They've been at their dad's. They're having lots of fun and whatever, but I am ready for them to come back to my house. And what else do I need more of in my life? Opportunities.
Always.
Yep.
Always more opportunities.
How about you?
I need more of my family in my life, and I'm actually gonna do some of that next week. I'm gonna go see some of my family next week in Brookings. Everyone's safe, everyone's healthy. We think now is the time before school starts, and Lord knows what happens after that. So I need that. It's another thing I need more in my life. I need more days like this. I really like days like this. Kind of overcast and cool and nice. I know. And actually kind of some rain without the, ping pong size hail and tornadoes.
Yeah.
It's a win. And I could really use some more, I don't even know, I could use a chef in my life. I could use more food preparation.
In the summertime, I wouldn't mind that at all. Because we get home late from golfing or being outside in the yard or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, should we just eat Taco Bell again? Or
I know. We've actually cooked food in our own kitchen 3 nights in a row. And I'm like, I'm really digging this. It's really good and it's tasty. And a lot of it's out of the garden. So it's like, we should do this more.
I know.
And it's not like we're in New York where we can literally get food of any kind delivered any moment. We have to go get it and stuff. And we usually do that.
Yeah.
We do that too much.
We're pretty lazy in the summertime about it.
It's hard. It's so hard.
Okay.
Adapter guy, why being a CEO is more challenging than ever. Right?
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot from CEOs, leaders across the world that it's really challenging to figure out. I mean, you have to adapt, but depending on how much you adapt, how you say you're adapting, who likes your adapting and who doesn't, you either look like a real jerk or like a real superstar. And unfortunately, in the world right now, there isn't much of a spectrum on that. It's one or the other. And CEOs are seeing that it's hard to really effectively manage the strange conversations that are happening in the workplace around masks and Black Lives Matter and rioting and should kids go back to school.
Oh, the kid thing, back to school thing is crazy.
So our hearts out to you for those of you who are in leadership positions, particularly CEOs, trying to figure out how much of a jerk does it have to look like I am so that I don't lose my business? Because that is actually the challenge that a lot of CEOs are finding themselves in. So this article is a good one, just kind of talking a little bit about that and the stressors of being a CEO. Shelley can post that in the link or in the comments.
Yeah, and it's interesting. One of the points of the article talks about. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we're not. We're
comments, so I'll make a post.
Oh,
we're not in the normal place we are, or something is happening.
But like even in the group on the homepage, I can't see you guys.
oh, weird. Well, anyway.
I thought it was strange that we didn't have anybody on our thing.
Yeah, no one's seeing us. But anyway, we'll keep talking. We'll share in the right spot. Yes. You can watch later. But I can maybe post the link. So one of the other comments of the article is about CEO. All this turnover in CEOs really just demonstrates that everybody can be replaced. But from our perspective, from a team perspective, CEO turnover can be really quite disruptive for a company, especially during COVID, and to Meg's point about having to make hard decisions to keep the company open, and maybe that upsets your staff or your team or your workforce or your shareholders or your board or whatever. So it is a really it's always a stressful time, frankly, to be CEO these days, but it seems even more so trying to navigate all of these complex and strange situations that we're all finding ourselves in. We're all very stressed out about the changes we're having to do or not, and when to do them, and how to not offend people or whatever. It's just really crazy right now. So, not that means that your job isn't crazy because you're not the CEO, because we know that everyone's being affected that way. Okay, we have some member questions.
All right. We are understaffed at work.
Oh, right.
We had several people quit during quarantine. My manager is doing their best to fill our vacant positions. In the meantime, our whole team is taking on extra tasks. How can I keep my coworkers positive until we are fully staffed again?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all about attitude for me. Like, if you're part of the woe is me group, you're going to have an awful hard time keeping people motivated. So, first of all, a lot of times it's your attitude, and that's contagious. And most people are team driven. And a lot of people will mimic the behavior they see. So the more behavior they see that's sad or stressed out or anxious or fed up, that's going to feed on itself. The more they see of, hey, we can do this. Hey, we believe in each other. Hey, we're in this together. We can do it. I can't wait for a new person so we can get them on board and show them how we do things. And so I think that's the first thing you can do is be the cheerleader, talk to other people who are cheerleaders, and be aware that people are really stressed out and that it might be hard for them. And that's even more important for you if you can stay positive. I think that's the very first thing I would recommend.
Yeah, the idea of make it the plan, not the enemy.
Good
too.
idea.
So when you kind of like Rachel's talking about with that mindset, I use this trick on myself a lot, especially if I'm running. You know, if I'm feeling crummy and I got to walk, instead of getting down on myself about, gosh, you shouldn't need to walk. You've been training. You're blah 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 the things. I just say, okay, well, apparently my body's telling me that right now we're walking, and so then making a plan out of that. So then I say, well, I'll run for this far, and then walk for this far, and then run for this far, until I feel like I've caught up with myself and I can run further distance, or just that's the way it's going to be for a while. So really taking that, gosh, we all have extra tasks and everything, and instead of talking about it like, oh my God, we should all be so stressed out because we have all these extra tasks, say, okay, this is going to be our plan for a while, and maybe for 6 months, and actually be intentional about talking about it that way with your people. Say, this is our plan right now, not this is a mistake, or bad things happened, or you should all be stressed out and freaking out because I am too. Just make it the plan.
Yeah, I like that, because then what you can do if you make it the plan, then you can say, okay, right now we have 7 people and this much work to be done. So maybe we don't do these non-essential things so that we can all get the core things done. And then as we add people, we can reassess. So have a plan and then it'll work out better. I like that suggestion a lot. All right, the next question. How do I spot employee burnout on my team? I recently lost 2 seemingly happy employees. During their exit interviews, I learned they both felt overworked and burnt out. I felt terrible I wasn't able to see the signs and want to avoid this happening in the future.
I always say there's a couple. An obvious one a lot of times for people is they either show up more than they used to, like come earlier, stay later, or work from home, longer hours or whatever, or less. So if you're seeing someone who pretty typically came to work at between 7 and 8 o'clock and signed off between 4 and 5 o'clock, who is now like, well, I got on at 6 because this and that, and or I work later after dinner or whatever, and it's not normal and it's not like some seasonal extra work kind of thing. That's always a big telltale sign, I would say, when people are burned out, that we often let ourselves ignore it. So don't get down on yourself about not seeing it. We often ignore it because we're all, people are hard workers. And especially when there's stress, then people sort of band together and they try and get things done. And so it's easy to ignore because you think, oh, well, gosh, I guess Rachel must not have got done today, which she thought she wanted to get done. And so she's working after dinner, and so be it.
Right. Not my problem. Right.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
She must be fine because she would tell me if she wasn't fine. I think that's the second part that goes along with it is don't assume anyone is fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually the first thing that Meg comes up with, which is what I thought she was going to say, is ask.
Yeah.
Right? So now is a good time to sit down and talk to people. And you have to, if you want honest feedback, you have to be able to take that honest feedback and reflect it back in a way that doesn't feel judgmental or that they're going to risk their job or anything like that. Because if they say, well, I really feel burnt out and overworked, and you say, what do you mean? Everyone's working way more than you. Well, then guess what? No one's going to tell you. So be sure that you invite honest communication, and that means that they're going to be supported in that honest communication, or not, sort of scolded for honestly communicating. I mean, we've all been in COVID now since March, which is like, I don't even know how many months that is, a lot of freaking months.
Mm-hmm.
And so now is the time to think about actually checking in. Like, we've established these sort of COVID things where we might check in every day, or we might check in once a week, or whatever your system is. But that is routine now for everybody. Might be annoying, might not be, but maybe now is the time to actually connect one-on-one in a different way and really check in with your people to make sure they're doing okay. Because you're right, this person is right. Seeing turnover right now, and sometimes that's not really has anything to do with you or the company, because people are in a transition phase, and that just means that they're more open to change than they have been before. So it might be that you're just a victim of what we train all the time, which is when you get into a place like COVID where you're not sure what the future is going to look like, then everyone's mind's way wide open about possibilities and options that they might not normally be. So it might be they've been thinking about this for years and now's the time. It might be that they're feeling like they need to be closer to their family. So a lot of that stuff might be that, yes, they're feeling overworked too, but maybe in a normal situation, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because you're in COVID, it becomes a bigger deal. So,
and I would remember that people don't use the words that are really what's going on for them. So they might say, well, I was overworked and burnt out. But what that really means, and issue that a lot of leaders have when they hear that. They're like, well, they're not doing any more work than they ever were. And as a matter of fact, they're doing less work because now they're working remotely and we don't have as many clients, and blah, 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 whatever it is. So it does feel like a little bit of a mystery when they say, I'm overworked and burned out. What those people might actually mean is, man, my kids have been home since March and I have little tiny kids. I just found out my daycare isn't going to open back up. My mom came up from Iowa for a while, but now she left, and so I don't even have any support in my house. You know, my spouse, or maybe I don't have one, they're working full-time still because they're in an essential role, so every day they're exposed to coronavirus, and they come home. On and on and on the story goes. So when people say I'm overworked or burned out, what they might be saying is I'm overwhelmed with my life generally, and I don't feel like I am able to continue working at this pace, even though the pace of work may not have changed. So it's important to keep that in mind so you don't start thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I did this to somebody. I would never want to do this to anybody. It could just be external factors included in there. So
yeah, undoubtedly right now, there's external factors.
Right.
For sure. All right. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. Are you ready for some good news?
Yep.
Wait, let me get the sign up.
Do it. Get it
It's
out.
getting kind of beat up, but I still love it.
It's fine.
So
It just looks like everything else this summer. Hail damage.
Some good news. Our favorite kind. News.
The only kind of news worth listening to
The
anymore.
only kind of news we want. You may have heard about this. If you haven't, it's amazing. So there's these two friends, and years, they're old guys, adorable old guys.
Well, like, what's the movie?
Grumpy Old Men?
Yes.
And years ago, they made a pact that if either of them ever won the lottery, they would split it. And one of them actually won the lottery. I think was it 22 million?
Yeah.
The jackpot's 22 million. They split it, and after taxes, they both went home with $6 million. Isn't that the coolest story?
That's so sweet. If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to disappear forever.
I would appreciate
But
that.
I will send all of you a check in the amount of $1 million.
I don't believe you.
I would. I've talked. This is one of my favorite conversations to have with people to see what they think about how they process the world. Because truly, like, what are you even going to do hardly with $6 million? Especially if you're past, let's say, 60 years old.
Yeah, these guys are about that, I think.
Yeah, so I just think it's. I would definitely share my money.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do with all of it? You could live on the interest of $6 million for the rest of your life.
There was this dreamy. I'm just going to tell this quick story. There was a company. I used to work for a bank, and there was a company in town, a small firm that got bought by a huge firm, and it was like this ridiculous thing where they put, I don't even know, it was like $40 million or something in a savings account for like a week until they could figure out how to distribute it or do all the paperwork or whatever it was. They had to hold it for some sort of amount of time. So literally, I was a teller. So me and the other tellers would log into their account and see how much money in interest they were making. And granted, this was in like the 90s, so there's actual interest on the savings account. But it was like ridiculous. It was like $40,000 a week or something just on the interest on this huge amount of money. So you're right on that piece. Like, it's crazy how much money was clicking over. Like, you could almost see the numbers flipping as you looked at it. So, I think I would definitely share it. I think the question would be, it would change my life so much. I think I'd have to sit back and really decide how much money I needed of that big money. You know what I mean? Like, I would love a plane and a pilot that could take me anywhere in the world, whenever I wanted. So, but to your point, out of $6 million, I could pay with that out of the interest of that money, probably.
Yeah.
And wait a couple of years and you'd have enough money. So it's like, it'd be really like, it would be just supremely life changing. I mean, just from how you think about your life perspective. It certainly wouldn't work. I always roll my eyes at the people like, well, I would just keep working. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I don't think Yeah, I don't think I'd like keep working, but I would definitely either start a nonprofit organization or do some like cool volunteer work.
Yeah. I think I would redo houses for a living and maybe donate them to people that needed
Oh,
them.
that's a cool idea.
I love making beautiful. Like Charlie on our IX group today said he really loved basically creating this beautiful thing out of something that no one else wanted. And I really love that. I love making space, home space. I don't know why, but that makes me really happy. So. And real estate's one of those things that you have to have just a lot of money at your disposal.
That's true.
So you can buy something and then have the money to fix it up. And I mean, we could probably bootstrap things, but that's really hard and stressful.
Yeah.
So I think if I had all the money and to keep busy and do good for the world, I think that's probably what
I like it. I like it.
well, we could work together.
I think I'd.
You could run the philanthropy.
One thing I would do, I would go buy fast sports cars and then take them to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Yeah,
and give kids rides around in really fast sports cars.
that's really fun.
Because, I mean, who doesn't want that?
I know.
Everyone. Especially, like, can you imagine if you're a 12-year-old little boy who's been on chemo and felt crummy for how long and you could ride in this cool sports car?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I would do that. For fun. That's what I would do for fun.
It's so funny because my dad, I'll tell you a story. My dad took his old convertible. He had a cute little 2-seater convertible. And he would go to the old folks' home and he would give people rides.
Nice.
And he had an aunt who was blind, even. And it didn't matter. She wanted that convertible ride was like so great.
Right. Cherry pie on a Sunday.
Yep.
I dig it.
Yep. Yep. So, okay. Well, that's a lot of nostalgia.
If you are so inclined, and if this video ever actually makes it to
Actually shows
anyone's
up somewhere.
visibility, because we don't actually know what part of the world we're broadcasting to right now, maybe
Hard
not. You should share with us what you would do with
Oh, you
millions
should.
of dollars. If you won the lottery, what things would you do with your time or your money? Doesn't matter if you would do it to support yourself or someone else. We're not here to judge, just here to
No
learn.
way, man. We know everyone's different. That's kind of our jam, so we'd love to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, hopefully you've seen this. If not, doesn't really matter. We hope you have a great day anyway.
All right, lead powerfully.
Change the world. Bye, everybody.
Bye.